Hello, I just wanted to take a moment to go over our final 2 assignments. This is usually the time in the semester where I start to get lots of questions, so I just wanted to go over the assignments. So I'm just going to walk you through on our Blackboard shell. So where we're going to start is assignments right here on the left. So go to the assignments. And you'll note here that we're coming up to week 12, which is your article critique, and the final week, the career symposium or presentation is due, and I'll go over that in a second. So if you scroll down to the bottom and assignment number 5, article critique, there's a folder here for you, and I'll show you just quickly what's inside. The rubric and the description is here, and I'm going to walk you through it. The advanced organizer to help you plot out your early thinking is here as well. I handed those out in class, so you should already have those, but in case you missed, it's there. I have 2 sample papers. One is a sample of a strong critique that's done quite well, and another sample of a weak one that sometimes students find helpful to look at what's expected from other students, so I have those. I also have 2 links here for you. One link takes you to a folder that's already in resources on the left as well, but it links you right to it. And it's a whole folder that it has a whole bunch of APA resources for you, and they're all in there, so you can access that. The other folder that's there is on paraphrasing, because one of the steps is to actually paraphrase 3 sentences in your own words, so that might be helpful. And okay, so let me just go back. And then the very last thing, I'm sure you're past this stage, but if you needed help to find an article at this point, there's a PowerPoint here from a librarian that walks you through how to do that. But hopefully you're past that. So I'm just going to show you this right here, which is the description of the assignment itself. So I did go over this in class, but I just want to review it again in case you have any questions at all. So you're going to be writing using APA, analyzing a scholarly paper that someone else has written, and you'll be critiquing it, providing an overview, clarifying and questioning, evaluating some of the findings in the paper. So it's due next week in week 12, and these were the topics for you to research. So we went to the computer lab and did that. So that should be done. And then we took time in class to spend some time looking at how do we do a summary of an article. We also had a class on how to paraphrase, how to cite, how to do in-text citations. So you're picking 3 sentences, and of those 3 sentences, you're going to do 2 things to each sentence. First, you're going to cite it with direct quotes, word for word from the author, and cite that. And then you're going to paraphrase the exact same sentence, and then you're going to cite that as well. So 2 things for each sentence. Direct citation from the author and a paraphrase version of your summary and citing. So 2 things. So you'll have 6 sentences written for that section, phase 3. Phase 4, this is where I do often have some questions from students. So what you're going to be doing is the first thing what I would do is just write out this question and answer each of them. So for the article critique part, so from when you read the article, what's the main thesis? And in class we talked about where to find that. It's usually in the first couple of paragraphs. You'll find the purpose of why the author wrote this paper or did the research. The next section is going to be what main findings, conclusions, arguments did the author or authors report. It's usually found at the end. After the methodology, you'll find discussion, conclusion, summary, findings, discussion. I think I already said that. So you'll find that at the end. So just summarize what were the main findings of the article. This one is your reflection, your insights. What did you learn? What did you something new that you found out? What deeper insights did you gain from reading this article? Then this next question, the other ones are done in a paragraph. This is the one that is not done in a paragraph. So here I've asked for a paragraph for each question, but this one is not a paragraph, it's just list questions. So as you read the article, what questions came up for you? Could be, for example, question, why did the author only research in a college? Why did they not research in a university? It could also be, how come they only researched, 10 people? Or I wonder if the findings, because it was done in the UK, if the findings would be the same in Canada. I wonder if they did it in a healthcare program, if it would be the same. So you can just sort of think about what came up for you and just write the questions. You do not have to answer them. So this section D, just a list of questions. Then this one is thoughts and concepts that you would challenge. So this is the hardest question, I'm not going to lie. So question E is probably going to take the most amount of thinking for you. Thoughts, concepts, would you challenge? So challenge might be, you could look at the reference page and realize, gee, all of the citations are all about 10 years old, and maybe I would challenge the currency and relevancy of the references because they're older. Or I would challenge, I kind of noticed that the author had a bias, so maybe I would challenge that. Or you could notice that maybe the paper was sponsored by some kind of company, or it was very biased towards just university students than college students or something like that. So just this is going to take a little bit more thought, so I just want to warn you about that. The last question is very simple because it's how do the findings in the article relate to your post-secondary experience. So the article is about first-year students, learning strategies in first year experience, success at college. So how did this article relate to your experience? Would you agree with it and write about that? The last two parts are you're going to create a reference page. You've read one article, but you're going to add 5 more, and that will give you a total of 6 articles for your paper. You do not have to print or read the other 5. They are just to be cited. So in total, there are going to be 6 at the end. And I would suggest going to the college website in the library just to double check what the reference page looks like and compare yours to it. I've put a link to it on the announcement page for you. And then finally, well, you might be doing this earlier, but finally in phase 6, I have a cover page, and that's to be APA formatted. And I'm going to be looking for that it has a running head, page number on the top right, the details of the assignment, and it's double spaced. And please just double check that you have gone into, if I can just move this up for a second, if you, whoops, there it goes. If you go to this section in Word right here, and if you click on this button that says remove space after paragraph, it's going to take all the little extra spaces out of your paper, because without that, it's going to leave in an extra space when you hit enter. So that's just a little tip on that. And then you can go over this yourself, but I have a comprehensive rubric of how it will be marked. This is worth 25% of your mark, so I just want to make sure that you knew how it would be marked, so that's that. Okay, so the next one is our final assignment, and it's a visual representation of the career that you're choosing to write about. So it could be, you could be very convinced of the career that you've wanted from day one when you came into pre-health. I want to be a registered nurse. I want to be an advanced care paramedic. You could be very confident about that. There are many students that come into pre-health because they're trying to decide on a healthcare career, or some students at this point in the semester realize, you know what, I don't want to go into healthcare. I'm going to go into business, or I'm going to go into another field. No problem. You pick a career. It does not have to be healthcare, whichever one you're thinking about. If you're vacillating between 2, please pick one to focus on, so that will help you with your decision. So this assignment is worth 15 marks, and we're going to do it in a symposium format. So this week in class, we're going to be talking about that in detail and what that will look like. So please come to class in week 12, because I'm going to give you lots of details about this assignment. We read this over in class, but what is career planning, the purpose of the assignment, how you can be successful, where the supports are for you, and the format is either you choose a Bristol board, poster, presentation, or electronically you can use Prezi, or you can use PowerPoint, whatever you choose. And it's to be it's presented in class into, I have to change this now, but it's going to be in a small group. So your learning style group that we're going to be working in week 12 is the little group you're going to be presenting to. So it's very informal. So this is how it will be marked. To prepare, you're going to list your core values. You're going to describe what those values are. We did lots of work on that in class in week 11. So if you're not sure, go back into the week 11 folder and go through some of the things that we did. Describe what the values mean to you, just define them, and then how do they fit with your career goals. So that will be one section. The next part is you're going to research and introduce your career, and this will be just describing what is a registered nurse, or maybe you're doing gerontology nursing, or something very specific. Maybe it's ultrasound technologist, or denturist, or acupuncture, or nuclear medicine, whatever it is. I want you to describe it, what's the type of work someone might be doing, and then some images that you would include that demonstrates the type of work. So those are each for 2 marks. Then the next part, this is really about the data part. So data, trends related to this career. You're going to do some research on statistics. So this section here, this is about numbers. So so male-female ratio, wages, availability of work, different trends, longevity of a career, career opportunities in different countries, whatever you choose. This has to do with numbers. So any statistics you can find, you're just going to list them there. Then this section is worth 6 because there's 3 parts to it, and you can put these anywhere on your poster. I don't care what order any of this is, just that I'm just looking for it. So this is going to be your Myers-Briggs or your type-focused assessment. Pat came in and explained it to us. These are your 4 letters like ENFP, ITJ, QRST, you know, those letters that we learned. So that's what that part is. And you're going to describe how your personality is a good fit for this career. Pat also came in and did something where she did another assessment with the party game on personality. You can also use that one at this point as well. So top learning styles. So your learning style that we did, oh gosh, I can't remember now, week 4 or something I think we did, or week 3 or 4, where you learned your learning styles, your VARC, your multiple intelligence. You can certainly redo it in career cruising. If you want to redo that, no problem. But how does this learning style influence your career choice? How is it a good fit for the career? So just give that some thought. And then finally on this section is the employability skills, and we talked about those in class in detail in week 11. I think we introduced it also in week 10. So they're in your textbook. I think it was page 8. There's also some links in the career folder as well. So oh, and I'll show you the career folder in a second. So the other last part is a concluding reflecting note. This is very personal, so this does not have to be on the front of the poster. If you don't want it to, it can be on the back. And if it's in the PowerPoint or the Prezi, you can leave it for just me to read. That's just your reflections. Or are you more or less convinced the career is right for you? How do you feel about that? So it's just a final reflection. After you did all of this work, what did you learn? What did you learn about your career? Anything you want to do in the future? Do you need to do more research? That kind of thing. So just a nice reflection there. And then finally, overall presentation and creativity is 2 marks for that section. So hopefully that's helpful to go over that. In class in week 12, I'm going to go over how it will be marked and how we'll lay out our work plan for that. So if I can just go back to Blackboard for a second, into the assignment details, I just forgot to show you. I have a folder also for this final presentation. So if you click on that, and inside you're going to find the exact paper I just went over with the details of the assignment. The marking rubric is here, and there's a link to the career planning folder that's in the resource section as well. So there's the slides and the personality octagon, I guess. Is that an octagon? 1, 2, I don't know, hectagon, I don't know, some kind of gon. And you can look at that. And then there's the employability skills list. There's 2 assessments that you can do here, online assessments, to find out what are your employability skills. This one I think is from the UK, and this one is the Canadian one. So it doesn't matter, whichever one you want to do. And then the type focus, if you need to review that, is here if you need to just do it again. Pat has slides on explaining the type focus. Career cruising is here. There's a great resources in here. I've got some other excellent websites here that can give you lots of information as you start to research your career. And Pat gave us another one there. Career cruising. I have PowerPoint explaining career cruising if you've never heard of it. core values, I have some core value information here at the bottom, and this again is an online assessment. So anything you see yellow highlighted in here are online assessments that you can do that can help you with figuring out what pieces will go in your